Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Anne and a happy new year. On today's tutorial, we are making this gorgeous ribbed cardigan. You'll need 4 balls of yarn. I'm using the Super Saver brand, a 3.5mm hook and a 3mm hook. We'll start by making our back panel, then we make our 2 matching front panel, then we make our sleeve. The last part of the tutorial is going to be the front ribbing and the button. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started and happy crocheting. The yarn we are using, it's this brand, Super Saver, and I'll be using this color. I think it's wine red. You're going to start by making a slip stitch. We are going to be using a 3mm hook. Make a chain of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Make a chain of 100. We are done with our 100 chain. Your chain should measure up to 21 inches while it is not stretched. After you've chained 100, you're going to chain 1, and on the next stitch you are going to be making single crochet. On the next stitch, make single crochet. So make single crochets until you have 16 single crochets. Put a stitch marker on your 16th single crochet. So we are going to move on to the next part. Yarn over, insert your hook, pull through. We are going to be making half double crochets in every stitch. Keep making half double crochet. I'll meet you guys once you get to the end of your row. We are done with our first row. For row 2, we are going to chain 2, turn your work, and on the first stitch, make back loop, half double crochet. Yarn over, insert your hook on the back loop, pull through. Yarn over, insert your hook on the back loop, pull through. Repeat this until you get to this point where you placed your stitch marker, and I will meet you guys there. We are going to be making back loop single crochet on these stitches from where we placed our stitch marker. So insert your hook, make a back loop, single crochet, back loop, single crochet, back loop, single crochet. Our work is going to be a repeat of row 2 until you have a total number of 56 rows, and I will meet you guys after that. We have finished our back panel. We have a total number of 56 rows for our back panel. Your back panel should measure up to 20 inches while it is not stretched. And how you get this measurement, you use the widest part of your body to get this measurement. For example, your hips. If your hips measure up to 40, you divide the number by 2 and then you use that measurement to make your back panel. When you stretch it, it goes up to 26 inches. I'm making a size medium. If you want a size large, just add 4 more rows. That will be 60. Extra large, add 4 more rows, and vice versa. For our front panel, we are going to start the same way we started our back panel. We are going to keep making back loop, half double crochets until you have 18 rows. We are done with our 18 rows. So before we move on to our 19th row, we're going to count from this stitch right here. We're going to count up to 9 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And on our 9th stitch, we are going to put a stitch marker right there. And then we are going to be making back loop half double crochet, and we're going to stop 2 rows before we reach our stitch marker, and I'll meet you guys there. We are at our 19th row. So we are going to start our decrease. We are going to join these 2 stitches together. So yarn over, insert your hook in the back loop, yarn over, insert your hook in the back loop of the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, and that's how you make a decrease. And we are not going to be working on this stitch where we placed our stitch marker. That's also our decrease stitch. So we've decreased 2. For row 20, we are going to chain 2, turn your work this way. We're going to skip this stitch. That's a decrease stitch. We are going to make our second decrease on these 2 stitches together. So we are going to yarn over, insert our hook on the back loop, yarn over, insert your hook on the back loop, and we are going to make that into 1 stitch. And that's how we are going to be making decreases. Put your stitch marker on this stitch so that you can remember where you made your decrease. And then we are just going to keep making back loop half double crochets until you get to the end of our row, and then turn your work, keep making back loop half double crochet. I'll meet you guys when we have 3 stitches left. We are back at this point. We have 1, 2, 3. We have 3 stitches left. We are going to make our decrease. Yarn over, insert your hook in this stitch, yarn over, insert your hook in the next stitch, yarn over, pull through all together, and we are going to skip that stitch. Chain 2, turn your work this way, skip the first stitch, and in the next stitch, yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, insert your hook in the next stitch, pull through, and we've made decreases on this side as well. So put your stitch marker on the very first stitch. Keep making decreases in every row. We are going to make decreases until we have a total number of 28 rows, and you are counting from this very first row, and I'll meet you guys after that. We are done with our 28 rows. This is our last row of decrease. So you're going to make a matching panel that is equivalent to this panel. Our front panel measures up to 10 inches. They should be equal. So this side is 10 inches and the other one should also measure up to 10 inches. We are going to join this to our back panel. So take your back panel, count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. When you reach your 18th row, put your stitch marker and count from 1 up to 18 on your front panel. Put a stitch marker as well, and we are going to join those 2 together. We're going to start joining from this corner. Insert your hook. I did not cut off my yarn when I finished my back panel. Chain 1 and insert your hook, and in the same stitch make single crochets, and we are going to be joining our shoulder panel using single crochets. So insert your hook on this stitch, insert your hook on the matching stitch and make 2 single crochets. We are on our very last stitch. We are going to place 2 single crochet in the same stitch. This is what you should have once you are done. We are going to join the other side as well. Count 1 up to 18 and put a stitch marker and join the front panel. I'll meet you guys after that. We are done attaching our shoulder panels. For both panels, you should have 28 rows on this side, 28 rows on this side. When you total that, you're going to have 56 rows, same number of rows like the back panel. So from here on, we are going to join our sides so that we can have our armhole. First things first, we are going to count from here from the shoulder. So let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, and put a stitch marker on your 40th stitch. Count the other side as well and put a stitch marker on your 40th stitch, and we're going to start joining from down here. So take your yarn and make a slip stitch just like that, and on this first stitch insert your hook on the other side and pull through your yarn. Make your very first slip stitch, insert your hook on this stitch, insert your hook on the matching stitch on the other side, and make a single crochet. And we are going to be joining our work using single crochets. So insert your hook on this stitch, insert your hook on the other stitch, and make a single crochet. Keep making single crochet. I'll meet you guys at this point where we placed our stitch markers. We are on our very last stitch. We are going to make our last single crochet, and on the same stitch make another single crochet, and you are officially done. We are going to repeat this on the other side as well. We are going to start making our sleeve. So take your yarn and make a slip stitch and make a chain of 60. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Make a chain of 60. I'll meet you guys after that. We are done with our chain of 60 stitches. We are going to change our hook to a 3.5 millimeter hook. We're going to chain 1, and on the next stitch make a slip stitch. On the next stitch make a slip stitch. On the next stitch make a slip stitch. And we are going to make slip stitches until we have 18 slip stitches. We are on our 18th slip stitch. We're going to take our stitch marker and we are going to put it there, and then we are going to go back to our previous hook, which was a 3 millimeter hook, and we are going to be making half double crochets. Yarn over, insert your hook, make a double crochet, yarn over, insert your hook, make a half double crochet. Keep making half double crochet until you get to the end of your row. For row 2, we are going to make our increase row. You're going to chain 2, and on this first stitch make a half double crochet, and in the same stitch make a half double crochet. Those are 2 half double crochets. In the next stitch make a half double crochet and make a second half double crochet in the same stitch, and that's an increase. And for the rest of the row, we are just going to be making back loop, half double crochets until we get to the place where we placed our stitch marker. And since this is our increase row, we started our row with 60 stitches. So by the end of this second row, we've increased 2 stitches. So we should have 62 stitches in total. We are back at this point. We are going to change our hook to a 3.5 millimeter hook. Remove our stitch marker, and we are going to be making back loop, slip stitches on our stitches. So make back loop slip stitches and don't make them tight. So just make your slip stitches. We are at the end of our second row. So we are going to move on to our third row. Chain 1, and we are still using our 3.5mm hook. We're going to make back loop slip stitches, 18 back loop slip stitches. We are going to change our hook to a 3mm hook when we get to the half double crochet part. For this row 3, we are just going to make back loop half double crochet until we get to the end of our third row. And I will meet you guys there. We are at the end of our third row, and on this row we have not made any increases, so we have 62 stitches. So for row 4, we're going to make a chain of 2, turn our work, and this is going to be our increase row. This chain 2 does not count as a stitch, so we are going to yarn over, insert our hook on this stitch, pull through. That's our first stitch. Put a stitch marker, and we're going to make our increase stitch. We're going to make a second half double crochet in the same stitch, and in the next stitch we're going to make a half double crochet and a second half double crochet in the same stitch, and we are just going to continue making half double crochets until we get to this point, and then we're going to change our hook to a 3.5mm hook. Our work is going to be a repeat of this row 1 and row 2, an increase row and a row where we are not increasing until you have a total number of 20 rows. And I will meet you guys after you've made a total number of 20 rows and you've alternated between an increase row and a row with no increase. This is what you should have after you've done 20 rows. In total, you should have 80 stitches. We started our row with 60 stitches. By the end of your 21st row, you should have 80 stitches because we've done increases. So for the next row, we are going to move on to row 21. I already started my 21st row. So for this row 21, I'm just going to be making back loop, half double crochets. After row 21, we are going to turn our work to row 22 and we are going to start our decrease row. So chain 2, and we are going to skip this one, and this chain 2 does not count as a stitch, so we are going to skip this one and make our second decrease. So yarn over, insert your hook, pull through, yarn over, insert your hook, pull through, and we are going to make this into one half double crochet. Put a stitch marker on this stitch so that you can remember where you did your decrease, and then for the next stitches we are going to make back loop, half double crochets. So keep doing this until you get to the end of your row, and then come back again. I'll meet you guys once we get back to this point again, and I'll show you what to do. We are back at this point. So on this row, we are not making any decrease. We are just making normal half double crochet stitch. We're going to move on to the next row, chain 2. And turn your work. We're going to make a decrease on this row. Skip 1, that's our first decrease, and we're going to join these 2 stitches together. And that is our second decrease. Take your stitch marker and put it right there so that you can remember that stitch. So our work is basically going to be a repeat of this decrease row and the row of no decrease. So we are going to decrease our row when we are going this way, but when we come back to the top, we are not making any decrease. Keep doing this until we have a total number of 40 rows. That is from this point up to our last row. We should have a total number of 40 rows, and also our last row should have a total number of 60 stitches, the same number of stitches we had when we started our first row. I'll meet you guys after that. We are done with our sleeve. This is how it should look like, and you should have a total number of 40 rows. For the next part of our sleeve, we're going to take our yarn and make a slip stitch, and on this corner or either corner, we are going to attach our yarn. Once you attach a yarn, make a slip stitch, and on this stitch, make 2 single crochet in the same stitch, and in the next stitch, make 2 single crochet in the same stitch. In the next stitch, make 2 single crochet in the same stitch. So what we are doing, we are making 2 single crochet in every row or every stitch, and we are increasing so that the number of stitches we have will be 40 times 2, that will be 80. Keep doing this. I'll meet you guys at the end of our single crochet row. We are at the end of our row. We have made a total number of 80 single crochet. We're going to move on to the next part. We left 40 stitches on this side and 40 stitches on this side. That makes up to 80 rows. First things first, we are going to attach our yarn from this corner, and we are doing this on the right side of our work. And we are going to start by making single crochets on top of our 40 stitches. So just make single crochets all around until you get back to this point, and then I'll meet you guys after that. And we are doing this on the right side of our sweater. We are done with our single crochet row. We have a total number of 80 single crochet. We're going to turn our work into the wrong side. We are going to start attaching from this corner right here, and we're going to start attaching from the lowest part of our sleeve. So I did not cut off my yarn once I was done making my single crochet. I'm going to chain 1, and on this very first single crochet stitch that I made on my sleeve, I'm going to insert my hook, and I'm going to make my very first single crochet on that stitch, and onto my next stitch I'm going to insert it on the stitch that is facing me, and on the sleeve make a single crochet. So keep attaching your work using single crochet. Keep attaching your work until you get back to this point, and your stitch should match up on both sides. I'll meet you guys after that. This is what you should have once you are done attaching the sleeve. So we are going to be joining this part, the armpit area, and don't cut off your yarn once you are done attaching the sleeve to the body. We are going to be attaching from this point using single crochet. Insert your hook and make a single crochet. I'm sewing in the ends as I go. Keep doing this until you get to the cuff area. I'll meet you guys there. We are at the cuff area. We are going to be joining our work using slip stitches instead of single crochets. So insert your hook and make slip stitches. This is what you should have once you are done attaching your sleeve. This is the wrong side. You're going to repeat what you did for this sleeve on the other sleeve, and I will meet you guys after that. Are done joining both of our sleeves, so turn your work onto the right side. We're going to start making our front ribbing, and we're going to attach our work from down here. Insert your hook, make a slip stitch just like that, chain one, and in the same stitch make a single crochet. In the next stitch make a single crochet. In the next stitch make a single crochet. Keep making single crochets throughout your ribbing until you get to this place where we have our stitch marker. This is the last row that we did our decrease. I'll meet you guys there. We are at this point where we made our decreases. We made decreases in 10 rows. When we get to this point, this corner where we stopped our last decrease, we're going to make 1, 2, 3. We're going to make 3 single crochet in the same stitch, and in the next stitch we are going to be making 2 single crochet in every decrease stitch instead of 1 single crochet. In the next stitch make 2 single crochets. In the next stitch make 2 single crochets. In the next stitch make 2 single crochet. In the next stitch make 2 single crochet. In the next stitch make 2 single crochet, and we are going to do that until we get to our first decrease row. And after that we are going to remove our stitch marker, and we are going to start making single crochet in every stitch like usual. When you get to the top of your work, right here on these stitches of the neckline, we are going to be making 2 single crochets in each stitch, the same way we did these stitches. So just make 2 single crochet on the neckline stitches. When you get to these stitches on the side, we are just making single crochet in every stitch until we get to these decrease stitches, and we're going to be making 2 single crochet in every decrease stitch. And when you get to your last decrease row, you're going to make 3 single crochet in your last decrease row, and then from there on in every stitch you're just going to be making 1 single crochet. I'll meet you guys once you are at the end of your row of single crochets. We are at the end of our single crochet row. We are going to chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, chain 1 more and make a single crochet in the second chain from the hook, and make a single crochet in the next stitch and in the next stitch. Have 6 single crochet stitches, and on this first stitch make a single crochet, and on the next stitch make a single crochet, Turn your work this way and make single crochets, back loop, single crochet in every stitch until you have 6 single crochets. Chain 1, turn your work and make back loop, single crochet until you have 6 single crochets. We are back at this point. We are going to make single crochet on our first stitch and single crochet onto our next stitch. Turn your work and make back loop, single crochets in every stitch. We are going to be repeating this row until we get to this point where we made 3 single crochet in one stitch, and I will meet you guys there. We are back at this point. We're going to make a single crochet in the first stitch. After you've done that, you're going to make a single crochet in the next stitch. Those are 2 single crochet. Turn your work, and on this stitch you're going to be making single crochets. Just keep making your back loop, single crochet like usual. We are going to start making our buttonholes. So what we do on this row, you chain 1, make single crochet in the first 2 stitches, 1, 2, then chain 2 and skip 1, 2, skip 2 stitches, and in the next 2 stitches make back loop, single crochets. When you get to this point, make your single crochet stitch in 2 stitches like usual. Turn your work, make your first back loop, single crochet on those 2 stitches, and on our chain stitch we are going to be placing single crochet stitches like usual. And that's how you make your buttonholes. Make at least 3 buttonholes. I have 1 and I'm skipping up to 12 rows. So you just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Then you make another buttonhole and another buttonhole at the place where we did our last decrease. So we will have at least 3 buttonhole spaces. You can have more spaces if you want. And these are the buttons I'm going to be using. Ensure they fit perfectly. They are a shade of black. So just insert on this hole and ensure they fit. Just take your sewing needle, the small needle, and we are just going to sew it on the sweater. Insert your yarn just like that, and you just sew like usual, nothing fancy. Go through your holes twice just to ensure everything is tight and snug. You're going to repeat this on the rest of your buttons and ensure they line up perfectly. We are officially done with our sweater. Thank you so much for watching. Have a happy new year. Bye bye.